Welcome to the day 3 session of APM with Python. Today we are going to start our discussion on the concepts of collections in Python. So we are going to discuss about the concept of arrays, lists. We are going to have a discussion on the concept of tuples and dictionary. So far what we have seen is we have seen individual elements and we have worked with those. So we have worked with numbers, we have worked with Boolean variables. We will be seeing strings soon. So all these were individually dealt with. But what if we have a collection of these entities and we have to act on them collectively? So generally to store such entities, we have something called as different data structures which become available in a programming language to create these collections which store these entities together under an umbrella, and then they are collectively referred to and processed. So some of the data structures which are available to us in Python are array, list, tuple and dictionary. Now there is a slight difference between all of them. Let us have a look at it first and then we will tackle all of them individually. So the first thing which is available in a Python collection is a list. So list is a collection of entities which may or may not belong to the same data type, and it can be changed. So basically your data type values, the number of data types in the list, everything can be changed. So it is a very dynamic sort of a data collection where you can store entities belonging to the same data type or different data type, and you can further change their values once even defined. You can edit their values, you can change the number of entities, etc. Then you have got arrays. Arrays are lists but allows storage of entity or storage of only one data type. So you can either have an array of integers or array of strings or array of Boolean values, but you cannot have a mixed data type collection. That will not be called as an array. Now tuple is also a list but it cannot be changed. So you cannot edit values in a tuple, you cannot change the number of entries or the value associated with the tuple. And then you have got something called as a dictionary, which is a collection of key value pairs. So dictionary is a collection of key value pairs where a key is associated with the value. So briefly describing, these are the 4 different data collections available to us in the Python program. Now each of these collections are associated with some built-in functions using which we can manipulate these collections and process information inside it so as to use in our scripts. So we will see these collections one by one, how do we create them and how do we use them. So the first collection we are going to have a look, it is the collection of arrays. So to define an array or to start working with an array, you have to first write down a statement called as import array as array. So basically array is a built-in module available in the Python program which has to be included into the script so that we can work on it. So we are importing this module with an alias array and we are declaring the array. Int a is an array where we say array. We provide I, which tells us the data type associated with this array, and we provide values. Then when I say print int a, it will basically print the collection information. Similarly, I can define a float array where I provide the data type for float and the values. So when you print this information, this is how the output for the collection array would look like. Pretty simple. You have to import the module, the built-in module array as an alias arr, or this could be any name, whichever you find comfortable. Then your declaration of integer array and a floating array. Is this clear? So we will now see some of the built-in array functions so as to work around them. So to understand some built-in array functions, what we do is we first import the array module using an alias, and then we declare our array, an array of our integers, and we print it. Now some of the functions which are available with this, if I use this dot operator, which is the accessibility operator, it basically accesses the different built-in function associated with this entity. Can you see these functions: append, count, index, insert, pop, remove, reverse? So these are the built-in functions which are associated with these object, which is array. So you can see functions like toList, toFile, reverse, remove, pop, insert, index, count, etc., etc., available, append. So we will be using some of these functions to understand their working. So the first is, we say int a dot append 6. What it will do is it will add the number 6 at the last of this array. Okay, it will add the number 6 to the last of this array. Then when you say int a dot count 6, this will print the number of times 6 appear in the array. So how many times 6 will appear in the array after it has been added? 2 times, right? Then we have got something called as the index value. Now let us understand the concept of index in the collection. So the concept of index in collection basically tells us index is the position in the collection which stores a value. So every value in a collection is associated with an index number. Index value ranges from 0 to length of collection minus 1. So for example, you have declared an array as this. What is the length of this array? Length of this array is effectively the number of items in the array. It is 5. What would be the index value which would be taken? It would be taken from 0 to 4. So at the 0 position 1 is stored, at the 1 position 2 is stored, at the 2 position 3 is stored, at the 3rd position 4 is stored, and at the 4th position 5 is stored. So this is the index, and followed by the data which is stored for that given entry. Read it. If you have any question about this concept of index, please ask me. No question. So the concept of index for a collection is clear to all of you. Okay. So keeping this in mind, if you have to find out what is the index associated with number 21. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the index associated with number 21 is 5. What is the index associated with number 6? This will basically print the index associated with the first occurrence of 6. So it is 1. So let us see our program till here. So this is your original array. This is after appending 6. 2 is the count or the number of times 6 appears. 5 is the index at which number 21 is there. 1 is the index at which number, the first occurrence of number 6 is there. Then some other functions are int a dot insert 1 comma 10. So at the index 1 you want to insert 10 as a value. Int a dot pop. This will effectively remove the last element from the array. Int a dot remove 21 will basically remove the data point 21 from the array. Int a dot reverse will basically reverse the array and print information. So this is the array printed after 10 is inserted. So here you have at the first index 10 inserted, so everything shifted. Then when we say pop, you no longer have 6 available in the list. When you want to say remove 21, you no longer have the data point 21 in the list. And this is the reverse of the array, this array, which we have printed. Is this clear? So if you have any questions, you can ask. Do we have to import the array every time we want to use any of its functions? Yes, Marian. No, we have to. It's a built-in module, but it has to be imported inside the script. Okay, now we are going to have a look at the list. So list, as I told you guys, is a collection, but it allows different data types to be part of it. So here you can see I've created two lists. The list 1 contains some strings and some numbers, whereas list 2 contains only numbers. So you can have both types of list being available. The concept of index is also the same for the list as we discussed for the array. Basically, it is true for all the collection types in Python. So we say print, we want to print the data associated with list 1 index 0. So at 0 we will have mountain getting printed. Then if you want to print the content of the list, or if you want to print the sub list from the main list, you can use a concept called as slicing, where you basically provide inside the index value the range of index value. So I say list to 1:5. So between 1 to 5 it will pick up the values and print it. So it will print 2, 3, 4, 5. So it will print the sublist from this main list. Then if I want to update an item in the list, I basically provide the index position. So at 3, you update the value associated with the index position 3 to 100 and then you print the list. If you want to delete a particular value from the list, you basically say delete list to 3. So at the third index, whatever value is available, that will get deleted and the list gets printed. Have a look. So list 1 available at 0th position is mountain. The slicing of the list between range 1 to 5 is 2, 3, 4, 5. This is after we have updated the index position data point to 100, and this is after we have deleted a data point associated with the particular index on the list. Yes, you can ask your question. For list it is not required, Marian. Yeah, what in slicing? The 1 represents 0 index. No. 1 represents index 1. So that's why from number 2, you started printing 2, 3, 4, 5. So between index 1 to 5, you have to print the sublist. So at index 1, 2 is available. It is not 1 to 5 of, it is not the actual data, it is the index value in the concept of slicing. Okay, great. So we have seen till deletion. Then if we want to remove a particular value from the list, we simply say list2 dot remove 6. So remove 6 will remove wherever 6 is getting occurred. That is the first occurrence of 6. Then if you want to iterate through the list, you want to access every element of the list, you simply say for I in list2 and you say print I. If you want to multiply it by 10 and print it, you can. So let us have a look till here where we also remove when we iterate the list. So after removing 6 also, this is what your list looks like. And this is iterating through the list and printing each value associated with the list by 10. Now few more functions. There is a length function which is associated with the list, which basically prints the length of the list. There are built-in function max and min, which prints the maximum data type, data value and minimum data value associated with the list. To print the index associated with the particular data point in the list, we use the .index function and we provide our data point. So it will find out where does 2019 appears in the list and printed, and this will reverse the list. So length of the list 2 is 5 elements. Maximum element in the list is 7. Minimum is 1. Position of the element 2019 in the list 1 is 2. And this is the reverse of the list 1. Are you able to see the screen now? Okay, I'll explain again. So this would remove the data point 6 from the list. This will basically iterate the list and print the information associated with the list entries. This function length list2 will print the length of the list. The built-in function max will provide the maximum value associated with the list. The built-in function min will provide the minimum value associated with the list. List1.index will basically print the index data associated with the value 2019. Reverse is going to print the list in the reverse order. So this is your output. Length of list 2 is 5. Maximum element in the list is 7. Minimum is 1. Position of the element in list 2, which is 2019, in list 1 is basically 2. And this is the list in the reverse order. Is this clear? I'll give you a question and you guys can try slicing. So let us take a question and let us practice some of the concepts of the list which we have seen. Create a list of 10 values where you ask end user to provide the information. The information is the marks secured by 10 students for the subject maths. From the list, provide the following information. Highest marks scored, lowest marks scored, average of the marks scored by first 5 students. First 2 points are pretty easy. The last point would be a little bit tricky, little bit only. But nevertheless, I'm sure you guys can do it. So try out this question right now. Attempt it. All of you, please. And remember, when you are asking the user to provide you these 10 values, you can use a loop for it, a for loop or a while loop, where you are asking the user till 10 values are fetched. So go on, try out solving this question. Yes, Marian. Where are you stuck? The for loop values to ask user for the 10 values. So you define the list, then you say for I in 1, 2, you need to have 10 values, right? Int input, enter the marks, and then you will say what? Marks dot append num. So this will append the value. Does this help? Okay, go ahead and do it now. So using the for loop, you iterate through the list. What is the error? What are you trying to do which is causing error, Samir? To print the first 5 values, why are you using iteration concept? Why not the concept of slicing? For printing the first 5 values of the list, use the concept of slicing. Okay. Then you are trying to find the average. Here this for loop to find the average is not correct. Here for I in score of first 5, you will have to say in here I. The I takes the value associated with every number in score of first 5. So you say score plus equal to I, not score of first 5 I. Make sense? Change this, it will solve. Yeah, so I will basically fetch the value of the list. No, I is not going to iterate as index. I is not going to pick values of the index numbers from 0 to whatever. It is going to pick up the actual data available in the list. See this. For I in list 2, print I into 10. I is the actual data here in the list. Okay? Clear? Is it clear? Okay. Let me make you the presenter. You can share your screen. Yeah, execute it. Yes, I can see your screen. Execute it. Line 15. Input the number I. Why are you passing I in here? Remove this I, please. The input is just going to prompt the user. Now run it. Now start providing values. Okay. You just have to say in the line number 19 lowest score instead of highest again. Just correct the print statement to lowest. So good work. So Marian, any progress? Are you able to define the list? Are you able to pick up the highest and lowest? That is simply the max and the min function. Okay, this is great. So you are stuck with concept of average of the marks. So to find out the average of the marks scored by first 5 students, we have to first fetch the marks scored by first 5 students. To fetch the marks fetched by first 5 students, we have to basically create a list. So we say first 5 is equal to, this is your marks, 0 to 5. This will basically fetch, because it will slice off the marks of the first 5 students from the main list and create this new list. This clear? Now how do you find out average of a list of numbers? You add all the numbers together and you divide it by the total numbers, right? So you add all the values together and you divide by the total number of values available. So we say for I in first 5, total is equal to total plus I. This will basically add the first 5 numbers together. Make sense? And then you simply say average is equal to total by length of first 5. That's it. Okay? Sure, no problem. So let us have a look at some of the list functions now. So we have seen append, which basically adds to the list. Then you have a built-in function called as copy, which creates the copy of the original list. Then you have a built-in function called as extends, which concatenates 2 lists together. Let us see these 3. So you have got this list after appending 7. This is the list Q, which is copy of list P. And this is after we have concatenated both the lists together. We get both of the numbers appearing twice. Then we have got an insert function, which we have already seen. It inserts a value at a given index. Then we have a pop function, which removes the value associated at a given index. Then we have got a remove function. So pop works on index, remove works on actual data point. This is the difference between pop and remove. Then you have an interesting function available called as sort function, which basically sorts the entire content of the list and print it. So this is after we have inserted hello. Then this is after we have removed hello. This is after we have removed 4 also from the list. So the first occurrence of 4 will get removed. And this is the sorted list. Then you want to print how many times number 3 appears in the list, and you want to delete the list contents available between index position 2 to 4. So 2 to 4. So 2 and 2 will get removed. This would be the new list. Any questions in here about the built-in functions which we have used for the list? How are we going to remember these functions? Well, first of all, most of these functions have common English name, and depending upon how and where you want to use it, you can refer to the documents, which are basically your documentation of the built-in functions which are available. So with the more you apply, you become familiar with this. So you will realize that most of these built-in functions are common across the data structures, right? So you have an append, remove, pop, whether it is an array or it is a tuple or it is a list. You have these functions which has got common name across the data structures. Make sense? And then whenever you say dot, you get these built-in function available, so you can figure out what you would like to use. All these things would help. Clear? Okay. So we are done with list. We are done with arrays. Now let us discuss about the concept of tuple. So tuple is again a list, but a limited list because it does not allow any modification. So the number of built-in functions you can try with tuple are pretty much restrictive. So here we have declared a tuple. So we have declared three different types of tuple. A tuple with mixed values, a tuple with only integers, a tuple with only string. Then if I want to print a subtuple, I use the slice function. I can add two tuples together to create a third tuple. But when I try to manipulate the tuple, I am going to get an error. Okay. So the minute you try to use any function which is going to manipulate the tuple, you will find out that it points out an error to you. For rest everything else it works just fine. Any questions? Why we need tuple? Well, there are different features which are available in the outside world for a particular for a set of data to be represented as. The tuple by default introduces restrictions on a collection. So if your data which you are trying to work on it have some restrictions where you cannot manipulate the number of data points, then instead of introducing checks in your code unnecessarily, you can use a tuple. So if a developer tries to manipulate that tuple and he runs that code, he will get an error. So by mistake, we will not write something which the data structure doesn't support. So it is good to have different types of data structure which introduces different rules on the data. For example, there is a data collection in other programming language called as set, which does not allow duplicate values. Does it make sense? Yeah, so that's why. So let's take a short break now, and after the break we will start our discussion on a very interesting and a useful data collection called as dictionary, and we will solve some questions around it. Okay, So I will see you guys in next 5-10 minutes. We will start right now. It is 8:36. We will start at 8:45. Okay. Fine. During the break, my voice will be on mute and screen on hold. Thank you. So resuming the session, I hope you guys are back and are able to see the screen and hear me. Great. So we are going to start our discussion on the concept of dictionary. So dictionary is effectively a collection of key value pairs. So a key is associated with a value in dictionary, and keys are always unique. Sometimes we come across some data sets which itself has a very strong identifier. So instead of using a hard code identifier like position or an index value to identify a data point inside a collection, we might want to use the data property itself for the data to be identified. For example, let us say we have a data set of people details where these people belong to the country of US. Now all the people who belong to the country of US have something called as an SSN number, which is a very strong data point. Or let us say that we have a set of data where everyone is owning a mobile number. Now mobile number is also unique and it is a very strong identifier to identify a person or the details about a person. So if instead of using boring indexes or positions which are limited, we can create our own identifiers to identify the information associated with an entity, then nothing like it. So for that we use dictionaries. So do you say key? This is the symbol of association is associated with the value. For example, let us try to create a dictionary, a simple dictionary of months. So dictionaries are declared using curly braces. We say dict months is equal to 1, which is the key. This is the symbol of association in here, is associated with the value January. 2, which is the key, is associated with the month February. 3, which is a key, is associated with the month March, and so on and so forth. So you have this dictionary created where the keys are 1, 2, 3, 4 associated with the names of the month. Now if I want to print the value associated with the key 1, I will get January. If I want to iterate through all the keys and print the key and the value, I say for I in dict month dot keys. This will provide us with the list of keys associated with the dictionary month to which we are iterating, and then we pass on the value of I to get the value associated with that key. Dict months dot items basically print the key value pair. This will print only the keys. This will print only values. So when I run this program, this is the output which I get. Value associated with the key 1, key value pair, dictionary items, dictionary keys, and dictionary values. So I'm sharing this code with you guys. I want you guys to try out this code on your system. And if you have any questions regarding the concept of dictionary, declaration, and accessing key value pair, or only the keys or only the values, please let me know. How to get the values? This is how line 4, even line 7 is accessing the value associated with the key. Clear? So dictionary clear to you guys? Marian, your logic is wrong. Anyways, it's a little. This has to be I, not 1. Okay? Clear? Fine. So is dictionary clear to all of you? So we will try. First, let us have a look at some of the dictionary built-in functions, and then we will try to perform a solve a problem using dictionary. So here we have created a dictionary which has got name and age available. If I want to just print the name value, I pass on the key name. This age. So I can also use the get function to get the value associated with the key age. Just have a look at the different way they both are represented. And if I want to update the value associated with the key, I will simply say pass on the value, pass on the key and provide a value to it. So when I run my program, this is the output which I get. So with the name key, Jonah is associated, this is the age and this is the age after getting updated. Let us have a look at few more functions. So if you want to add further key value pairs in the dictionary, you create the key value pair like this. So this will also add address and designation to the dictionary and print it. If you want to remove a particular item, you use the pop function and you provide the name of the key. This will remove the particular key value pair. If you want to remove the last key value pair, you basically print pop item. So this will remove the last key value pair. So this is the dictionary after adding two key value pairs. This is the value associated with the key age which is popped out, and this is the last item which is popped out from the dictionary. Then if you want to delete a particular key value pair, you use the del function. If you want to clear the entire content of the dictionary, you use the clear function. And then you can go ahead and add more entries to your dictionary and print it. So this is after your dictionary is cleared. This is after entering some new values in the dictionary. Then this is the membership operator. Is name in dictionary? Yes. Is Sal in dictionary? No. If you want to delete the entire dictionary itself, you use the del function. So these are some of the built-in functions associated with the dictionary which can be used to fetch data or manipulate dictionary, etc. Any questions in here? So let us try to solve a problem using the concept of dictionary. So create a dictionary where the following data is available: SSN number associated with employee name, employee age, employee designation. So the data set which you have to create is, or instead of SSN number, let's make it a little simple: employee ID. So E001 is associated with, let's say, Tom. E002 is associated with E003 is associated with E004 is associated with, and so on. Iterate through the dictionary and print the information as follows. For each employee record, employee ID, employee name, employee age, so ID, name, age, designation. Okay. So you have to iterate through the dictionary and print the information as follows for each employee record. And then you will go on and print the information for next record. If you look at this data structure, what do you think this data structure is? Yes, you are right. It is a dictionary and a list. So it is a dictionary of list. Is that right? So we know how to access elements from a dictionary, and we know how to access elements from a list. Let's take 10 minutes on our own to try and attempt it, and then we will, from there on, if we get stuck, complete it together. Okay? Will you guys attempt it now? So go ahead and start the work. I have pasted the question in the chat. Already shared. Sharing it again. The idea is first create your dictionary. Once the dictionary is created, then start accessing or iterating through it to print the information in the required format. How to iterate dictionary using index? You iterate dictionary using keys. There is no concept of index in dictionary. Yes, you can store the key in the list and then you can iterate, but you can iterate only the keys of the list. So dictionary.keys will return you the list of keys. Look at the line number 5, 6 and 7, Samir. This is exactly what we are doing in here. We are iterating through the dictionary keys and we are accessing the key and printing the value associated with that key. Line number 6 and 7. This is exactly what we are doing. Make sense? Yes, I is the key and this will provide you the value associated with the key I. So, you have E001 as key, so what? E001 is just the value associated with the variable I. It's just a data point. I could be a number, could be a string, could be anything. Alphanumeric. Shall we try it together? Marian, you got lost on the first list question. You will have to go over the class to understand what happened today. No problem. It's alright. Take your time. Let's try to solve this question together where we have got a dictionary of list. So what is a dictionary? A dictionary is a collection of key value pair. So, in the above question, what is the key? E001, E002, E003, these are all the keys. Is that right? These are all the keys. Hello, are you guys there? So these are your keys. If you say print emp dict, in bracket you pass 0 employee 001 key, what will get printed? What will get printed in here? It will basically print you the list which contains Tom, 43 and CEO. Is that right? This will get printed. Now from this list, if I want to just access the name, so this is the data. So data 0 is Tom, data 1 is 43 age, data 2 is designation CEO. Is that right? Great. If I say print, let's combine them together. EMP dict E001 0. What will get printed? Tom. 1. What will get printed? Age. 2. What will get printed? The designation. Make this as a variable also by executing it through a for loop. So you say for each EMP in EMP dict dot keys, we are printing the same information where instead of passing this we pass EMP. And now this loop is complete. Do you all understand this logic? I have derived this logic from this. This I have derived from this. Just spend a minute in here. I'll just be back. Just ponder over it. This should be clear to you before we move forward. Yes, do you guys have question? We will see your way also later, but is this way clear? Okay. So the difference between your way and my way would be using a lesser loop. So for example, in here you are using two for loops, I am using only one for loop. Secondly, you can simply print the values in here along with the way the data is to be printed. So if you look at the logic, I say print ID, print name, age, designation and a new line. And I access this value. I in here is the key, I0 is the name, I1 is the age, I2 is the designation. And it will then iterate through all the keys of this list and will print all the data points associated with each key of the list. This is the output which we were looking for. So if we would have used another programming languages like a difficult one like C Sharp or Java, printing this information in this manner or creating such complicated data structure would not have been very easy. So in Python, this is still very easy compared to other programming languages. It is like how your mind would think to access the values. So the problem with dictionary which we could face is that we are moving on to two dimensions. So we might find it a little challenging to visualize this because it is no longer a single dimension value. But nevertheless, if you understand that a key is associated with the list of values, you know how to access a key, you know how to access a value. Now, value is a list. You know how to access the data of the list. You just concatenate it together to get your data point you are interested in. So, combinations of dictionary of list of dictionaries, etc., allows us to represent data in a very effective manner and access it. So, summarizing what we have learned today is about the different types of collections in Python. So, primarily dealing, all our work could be done by using list and dictionaries. Array and tuple are just subset of list where they are effectively the list but with some restrictions. The type of functions which are available with these collections are almost similar across all data collection types. So you can either add to a list or you can either remove information from the list. So there are two primary informations, adding and removing. Now adding could be append, insert, removing could be del, remove or pop, correct? So adding and removing is taken care of. Then you have other functions like sorting, finding max, finding min, creating a copy, extending. So these are other categories of functions available. So if you define a major category and inside that category you find out the built-in functions, it becomes easier for you to remember and work around with these built-in functions depending upon what operation you want to perform on that collection. Are you trying to add information? Are you trying to remove information? Are you trying to extract information? Or are you trying to manipulate the information within the collection itself? So depending upon that perspective, these built-in functions become useful for us. Any questions? So Marian, how are you feeling? I understand that you might be struggling a bit, but that's okay. You can have a look at the recording again. And if you come across any questions, feel free to let me know and I will help you answer them. Sure. So that's all we have for today. Tomorrow, when we meet, we are going to discuss. So, tomorrow, when we meet, we are going to do a discussion on the concept of strings. You might find strings comparatively easy than today's topic. Today's topic, I would agree that it was a little bit overwhelming. But I hope if you go back and review the recording and you try to see it at your own pace, you will understand it. But nevertheless, if you have doubts, we will solve it. So, see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much. Take care. Have a good evening. Bye. Bye, everyone.